I'm not going to talk about the steel industry or the heavy industry. I would prefer to talk about the sector, the steel sector. We talk about sector coupling, so steel sector is better. So what I would like to add to Professor Weizsäcker's presentation, over the temperature records in Austria, since 1775 we have been measuring temperature in Austria, and if you look at these time series over 240 years, and if you compare this to the time frame from 1970 to 2000, and if you look at the deviations, the negative deviations, and if you show the negative deviation in blue and the positive in red, then you see that the red bars over this period from 2000, that they focus between 2000 and 2020. So action is necessary, temperature rises here, and there were hot phases in between, but over the last 20 years the hot phases are very significant, and due to the timeline I'm not going to explain these curves, you all know them. The violet is the carbon reduction factor. So fossil carbon emissions are in the order of 40 billion tons. In 2020 there was a small dip from 36 to 34 billion tons, and believe me, 2021 the value will reach the pre-COVID level again, or even exceed it. Austria has set its goal that power generation by 2030 will be completely carbon neutral, and 2040 the entire Austria as a whole will be climate neutral, compared to the Green Deal of the EU that expects this until 2050. So we have major challenges, especially because voestalpine accounts for 50% of carbon emissions in Austria. So voestalpine is responsible for almost 12.5 million tons steel making in general. Here we are at the suction hall and the coking hall, where coking gas was processed and compressed for further processing. The classical application is the coking plant. Then we have the blast furnace process, where the separation of the iron and oxygen sits, and I can use carbon or hydrogen as a reduction agent, and this step is 75% of the entire energy input for steel making are required for this step. And then it goes via the blast furnace process to the steelworks, and in the blast furnace process 10% of the carbon can be substituted by hydrogen. More is not possible thermodynamically, and in terms of the process on the very right I can produce scrap. So I need only 10 to 15% of the energy of classical integrated route, but the scrap qualities, for example, these are not available, so we always have to use ore, because scrap does not have the quality which we need for our processes. This is around 10 to 15% of the steel that we can use as input material, but there's an intermediate step, and this direct reduction on the left-hand side, where iron can produce carbon and hydrogen and then go into the steel making process. I can use ore, but because I use gas, I already have a certain carbon benefit. And this is a process which is today already operating at 60 to 70% hydrogen, and if hydrogen is available, this can be retrofitted to 100%. This is the Linz site where I come from, Austria's largest site. It's at the Danube-Rhine Canal, and we are the largest industrial site in Austria. Left you see the coking plant and the power plant. We have electrical power of 300 megawatts, where we produce electricity for our process, and then further processing on the right-hand side to the products. And at this site must be made carbon neutral. You see the classical integrated route as we have it in Linz. we produce carbon monoxide, and these are 100% carbon emission. And if we use the direct reduction process with gas and the reforming process, we already use hydrogen in the form of gas, and we recycle part of the carbon dioxide and therefore produce the reduction gas. And this product must then be melted in the arc furnace. This is the Greiband, and depending on the carbon load of electricity, we already achieve a carbon reduction. What's very important, I already said that direct reduction can be carried out with gas and reforming, but I can also use hydrogen. So if I invest in a direct reduction process, everything is prepared for the use of hydrogen. That's important, and then it no longer depends on the electricity from which hydrogen is produced. And here you see all the projects of our competitors. This is Salzgitter, and they are all talking about direct reduction with hydrogen, and steel making accounts for around 7% of global carbon emissions. Here, this first step with direct reduction has already been taken at voestalpine. Since 2016, we have been operating a direct reduction plant in Corpus Christi in Texas, where we use gas, which we use and sell it to customers. And the second project, we have one of the world's largest demonstration plants for electrolysis for hydrogen in the order of 6 megawatts. 6 megawatts is very small, however, and if I want to decarbonize Linz, then I would need 3,000 megawatts, so it's a factor of 500. But as I said, we, together with our partners, we are trying to apply this technology and to upscale this technology, and how the durability of the modules we already learned from this plant. This is a very important project for us. As I said already, direct reduction process, you see it in the right yellow block. This is the reformer, and on top you see the hydrogen that comes in. The direct reduction process is suitable for this if hydrogen is available, and I use less gas and I increase the hydrogen supply. I can do this during operation, so I can also implement a certain control process. And in our Texas plant, these functions are already integrated. We do not yet have the hydrogen, but the plant is basically suitable for hydrogen. So why a demonstration plant for hydrogen? We produce in Texas 200,000 cubic meters hydrogen per hour in the reforming process. And in the coking plant in Linz, we also produce 70,000 cubic meters of hydrogen per hour from coking gas. And we adopted the PEN technology together with our partners, which currently has the highest potential for the electrolysis. Then we also have high temperature electrolysis, which has a lower yield, but nevertheless it will be one of the technologies for the future. I already mentioned the PEN project. This combined with Siemens, Verbund Siemens, APL and TNO. The plant has been operating since 18 months in full operation. Here you see a view of the modules. We have 12 electrolysis modules. Each module has a power of 500 kilowatts. Together we have 6 megawatts, and the plant can then be controlled between 1.5 and 9 megawatt. Hydrogen is purity 99.9%. So the quality is absolutely sufficient for metallurgical applications. Could also be less, but it's not yet fuel cell quality, so catalytic cleaning would have to be added. We still discharge oxygen, but there will also be enormous applications for oxygen in the future, so oxygen shouldn't be forgotten. So how do we build, how do we convert the steelworks? You know these projects from competitors. Everyone's talking about direct reduction technologies. There are different processes. I'm not going to talk about this table. Roland Berger offers this. You can read it there, and it corresponds to our plants in the third line. You see hydrogen-based direct reduction has the highest TAL and it is the first step, but there will also be new plasma melting, plasma fusion reactions and other steel making processes are conceivable for the future, but the first step must be direct reduction, first with gas and then with hydrogen, and this is the concept which we will also implement in Linz. We are currently intensively working on how the electric arc furnaces can be integrated into our processes. We will do this then with an DAI from Texas, still with gas, and in the future hopefully with hydrogen, with larger scrap amounts, and so with this process route we can already achieve carbon reduction for a certain amount of steel of 60%. If hydrogen comes in, then carbon can be reduced even further. 60% reduction would be possible in this process. This is how this roadmap can look like. Today we are at the carbon end. In 2035, depending on the availability of hydrogen, we can achieve at least a 30% reduction for the entire process. And after 2050, if hydrogen is available, then we can, arc furnaces can be shut down if the energy is available, so we can then produce with hydrogen. Of course, we also look at CCU processes, especially for storage. The largest gas storages with terawatt hours in Austria are very close to our site, are operated by Austrian providers, so gas can be stored there. And you can also store methane, so CCU processes will also have a role to play. And we are available to supply this carbon. And finally, a very interesting topic, the energy quantities that are needed. If you compare, the left picture is the energy production in Austria, the electricity production in Austria, and you see we produce up to 70 terawatt hours electrical energy, 70% from renewable sources and 30% from fossil sources. And if I want to produce 6 million tons of steel, then I need 6 million tons of steel and scrap, so I need 18 terawatt hours of electrical energy for hydrogen production, 2.5 terawatt hours for the electric arc furnace. And in order to keep it running, the rolling mills and the furnaces, I will need another 7.5 terawatt hours. So I need 28 terawatt hours of electrical energy. And you see, this is already half the total electricity production in Austria. And if I convert this to in Germany, we have 30 million tons of steel production in arc furnaces. So this is around 40 terawatt hours according to this example. You all know it, electricity production in Germany, then we are at 1/4 of the entire electricity production of Germany, at Krupp, at Salzgitter, Dillingen and so forth. So this is the major challenge, and we will decide where is the big power cable which I can connect, or the outlets to get the hydrogen, or where are the hydrogen pipes in order to get the hydrogen from other European or overseas regions. So this was a short overview, and I look forward to the discussion.